I truly wonder how much it will hurt for me to say this. How often do you think, or even remember to think, about what the end of your life will be like and when, and how much of what you most want to get done, you will get done by that time? How could there not be tremendous value, at least in some way, to think of that, maybe even to talk about it. I never talk about okay, well maybe that's not the best thing to start with. If I have one central message in this, you can guess what it is. I want you, everyone who is listening to this, which will hopefully be tens of thousands of people, even though most likely it won't be anywhere near that many, to dare to be your real self with at least a few people, to the degree that I, really still have not. I want you to, if you have not done so already, find out from experience how much value crying does or does not have, specifically with others who you find trustworthy. And it certainly doesn't have to be about things that make you sad by any means. It's the emotion that counts, not the subject. I'm so tired of not allowing empathy in myself. I'm absolutely convinced that we are all intended by conscious waves behind all physics to feel lots of empathy every day, at least whenever physically possible, which it often isn't. But let's not go into those technicalities. If I could, in fact, inspire satisfying weepness in even just one person who hears this, not necessarily making you cry when you hear this, but, sometime soon after, thinking of the right stuff, listening to the right music, whatever it takes. And especially, of course, if that makes you feel far greater empathy and connection to hopefully all humans, and ideally all perceptible phenomena, period. I don't see how that could not do something rather significant for my emotional confidence, my ease of expression, my trust in the actual value of being myself, showing my most vulnerable, squishy emotions that I'm always holding back on at least 95%. Okay, 80%, whatever. I understand that it is unbelievably difficult, impossible seeming for countless people. And I really think that the main reason for that is because they don't have enough of the right amino acids. They eat plenty of protein, but it takes so much protein to break down the proteins that they're losing their amino acids almost as fast as they're gaining them. I strongly believe that's been the case with me for many years now. If you're not convinced, I strongly suggest that you do your own reading about neurotransmitter depletion, like, serotonin, dopamine, acetylcholine, all these hormones that are just beyond required for true emotional function, as well as cognitive, of course. If only I could describe to you accurately the things that I have felt recently. Very enjoyable things, just thinking of certain concepts while I'm listening to certain music, but only after having recently taken certain amino acids and vitamins. They're just these points reached, these states attained briefly, in which my abdomen, no, I meant diaphragm, belly, tummy, moves rather fast, shakes somewhat, because there's these sort of reflexive, somewhat forceful exhalations. I don't know where the energy begins. It feels honestly like it's in the diaphragm. I doubt I'll ever know, but I don't think I need to know. I really understand the felt need to, quote, vent, but if it's about anger, I just think that in general it's, well, at least for me, it's not likely, even though I don't have that much experience doing so. Oh, and I don't think I made it clear enough that when I was talking about those things that I was feeling, they made me cry somewhat. I mean, I was always inhibited, never made much noise, but I mean to change that pretty damn soon, because I know that I need to. I needed to my entire life. Big surprise, huh? And I'm just waiting for those molecules to really kick in because I haven't yet. I mean, it is absolutely astonishing. Sometimes I can even feel like crying, and like knowing that I would enjoy it, even when I'm not listening to any music at all. It's like almost effortless, the getting the feeling. I mean, it's like I think of anything or anyone that I have, you know, what I would consider affection for, and we're just thinking about how fortunate, the infinite range of fortunate things that are my present reality and my past reality. If only I could feel that way all the time, or at least, you know, a third of the time. I'm not worried. I expect that I will be, especially, of course, and only really if I dare to share these emotions with some people who find considerable value in it and are all too happy to give me hyper-enthusiastic feedback, which I in no way deny that I really, really want. If I could actually see inside my brain and nervous system and stuff and actually witness molecularly what was happening when I felt strong empathy for someone, which I so rarely feel, I would be so impressed that I might actually be willing to face the pain, the automatic self-punishment resulting from vulnerable expression, and that I would do so over and over and over until it became easy, or as easy as, quote, possible. I'm truly sorry that I am not crying yet, because I want you to hear it. And I even dare to trust that a couple of you want to hear it, because it is the real me. I think crying is the core of our connectability as a species. And all tears ever are totally tuned to the golden ratio. Well, that'd be nice, but I know that's not true. Ultimately, though, at the uttermost level of physics, I wouldn't be that surprised. Look, here is the bottom line, okay, in case I haven't said it already. Unless you see me cry and I see you cry, preferably at the same time and ideally about the same things, and we do not really see our true selves, our true each others. I mean, how could anyone logically disagree with that? How many of us are not going to feel like crying if we disclose certain past experiences or even just fears that we don't want, that we're so afraid of people knowing about? Even the people who seem the most accepting and cherishing. I hope that it isn't necessary to go that far. Well, it is starting to kick in now, fortunately. I'm listening to this song called Pain that's sung by Joanne Hogg, composed by Yasunori Mitsuda, composer for Chrono Trigger and Xenogears, and this one is from Xenosaga, and it is just a mind-bending song. And I just worship how there's just this growing expansion in my lungs. I'm intellectually convinced that it originates from the heart, and it's starting to work. Whoa, you just heard me fucking cry. That's so unprecedented. I knew it would work eventually. Okay, I just took a tyrosine to increase my dopamine levels. Let's see what that does. I really do have to take all these things on top of each other, at least in order to make it easy. I am so not kidding when I say that when I attain that feeling, it's like I literally become much smarter for the duration, as though the emotion itself is greatly expanding my access. I truly wish to feel empathy for you. I look forward to it because I have, as you can tell, enormous expectations of what it would do for me. My ease of expression, that is, you know. Kindness is something I don't want or need. Those are some of the foremost lyrics of that song, Pain. Recently, I have been telling myself that yes, I do not want to risk, I should not have to rely on others for emotional well-being, when I'm perfectly capable of making myself euphoric inwardly, as in truly euphoric, at least eventually, before too long, simply by thinking of as many fortunate things in my life as I can. I've been doing an absolute ton of that lately, like far more than I ever have in my life. And I never attained euphoria, but I felt pretty good. But still, I really don't think it's safe at all to trust that that is going to really work anywhere remotely near as much as actually just facing the pain over and over and getting, quote, used to it. The pain of expression, that is, not just being insulted and holding it in forever. You know, right now I'm just thankful. I'm just really thankful how crying with reverence holds such boundless appeal for me, and that I'm not sneering at the concept as I have sometimes in the past. I deeply suspect that to be self-abuse. I mean, doesn't it just make more sense than anything else that most people want more than anything in their interactions with others to express joy, as well as anything else that they cannot help but feel, and to be loved for it, not despised, not even criticized. I suppose I could be wrong in that it's not most people, it's only like maybe a fourth of the population or less, though I'll never believe that. Even if it were true, so what? Obviously there's far more than enough who want this basic thing, the same basic thing as much as I do, and are more than happy to reciprocate with me nonetheless. If I truly understood that, if I truly accepted that on an emotional level, I would be euphoric like all the time almost in peaceful situations. I said it before, probably, and I'll say it again more than once. I am certain now that empathy is the true essence of the deepest euphoria that exists. And I could be wrong, of course, but I'll risk finding out. I consider myself pretty damn thankful these days, but I can never be too thankful that I have made it this far, that I have finally, after all these years of suffering, terrible energy, found the simplest of solutions that may well have saved my life. It is no exaggeration to feel that to say that it really feels that way. It was getting worse and worse, up until just a few days ago when I finally decided to take some betaine HCl hydrochloric acid, and I've been absolutely perfect ever since. Call that placebo? I don't care. I know it isn't. A lot of this keeps on working when everything else eventually stopped working. And when I really think back on that suffering, especially given how recent it is, I realize that everything else pretty much, at least when it comes to expression, as long as someone isn't actually like physically attacking me, then it's all paradise compared to what I've been through for so long. It just is. I'm going to emotionally accept that. And I had better be damn proud of myself for what I have generated in this file so far. And I will share it, imperfect as it is. I choose to believe, in fact, I feel like I know that this was meant to happen. All of the suffering that led up to this, and all the resulting metabolic discoveries that I've made and read about, and took notes on and memorized, I must share them to make it optimally not wasted. Is there anything in the universe more sad than wasted suffering? Of course not. You know, I could cry right now if I really tried hard enough, but it would be fucking horrifying to me. It would make me so uncomfortable. But only because most straightforwardly seemingly because the amino acids have not made enough of the right hormones yet. But we all know the underlying reason. Sometimes when you want to cry, you just gotta be real patient. I would like to know just how many times you yourself have found yourself weeping most enjoyably with reverence, not out of fear or sadness, because you felt connected to stuff collectively, and you were at least moderately overwhelmed with gratitude for everything, or at least a couple hundred things that you could think of then. I love you. I love you. I don't ever want to be uncomfortable saying that again to anyone, ever. I mean, sure, the words themselves don't prove anything, but at least it feels good to say that is something. And obviously I'm facing a fear by doing so. I've done so many times, but you know, each situation is a new situation, and yeah, it has become easier overall. It definitely has. But that doesn't mean that it's always easy, or even easy half the time. But I'm overwhelmed with gratitude that at least it does not make me feel truly uncomfortable after having said it. You know, honestly, I don't really feel like anyone could love me. I know that many people do, but I don't feel it. I don't actually doubt that they do. But it just seems really surprising that anyone truly would. By no means do I believe myself unworthy, as so many do, of which I so hope that you are not one of. I propose that we cherish each other while we still can as these people. I fully intend to give up my emotional investment, my ego, in influencing others to do what I perceive is best for them, even when it is fully backed up by uncontested lab observations. Doesn't matter how right I am, I utterly block empathy when I want them so badly to do what they should be doing, healing their diseases and all that, as though I will be spiritually punished for not succeeding in changing their minds, or at least trying as hard as I can to talk them into it. That is not reality. Does truly coming to accept pain, physical and emotional, in as many forms as possible, does it really have to be anywhere near as difficult as it appears to, for anywhere near as long as it would seem? You know what? FFS. Maybe I would find it a little easier to emote myself by considering all these apparent possibilities, new ideas, patiently, rather than incessant weighing of what I consider worth saying here. I'll try it at least. Automatic visuals. Why should those not provide the platform, springboard for platinum wah? You just need enough brainwave reducing molecules, especially of course tryptophan, but not so many that you get uncomfortably drowsy. Of course that would make automatic visuals all the more likely. I will abandon that subject for now. Were any of you at Rainbow Gathering in 2011 on July 4th, or maybe it was 3rd, out in the big center field and saw the tree burning? I did. I was afraid that we were going to all burn to death. I can't believe that it actually caught fire and that I was there to see it. I actually deeply cherish that memory. It's emotional. It's transcendently profound because I was right there in this meta hub of, well, I would say more good human energy than not. And the notion that one or more of you listening to this were there too and saw it. Right now I'm feeling like, how can that be real? Not just they were there too, but that I was there, and that it happened when I was. Right now I'm just feeling really good about that. It makes me feel connected to everyone who was there. Maybe I should just stop here, because all of this is no substitute for your feedback. I truly do apologize. Wait, I could save that for later. Since this isn't working so well at present, I'm going to try something rather different and just focus on gratitude. Think of all these different, things I am bestowed with, and see if the right music truly works with that. I'll be surprised if it does. Hell, why don't I just say some of the things? That I am alive still, for one. That I have internet access, and so do you. That I have at least succeeded in crying to the degree that I have recently, and that it was so truly enjoyable, and that I know that I can do so again very soon, and that I know that some of you that I share this with, truly do care about me and really value what I'm saying. And I'm very, very thankful that sometimes I can actually succeed at feeling affection for any number of specific humans. Okay, it's pretty obviously time for me to start actually asking you things, because if I do not know you, if I do not hear certain things about you, then it doesn't feel like we are truly mutually authentic. But it's certainly not good to set the requirement too high for that term. God damn it, I want to feel and show affection genuinely for as many people as is safe to. If only it were truly possible to know beforehand in every case, right? But I know that I really do need people's help, or I'm just really not likely to express myself 1/20th as much as I know I am capable of. and therefore my joy will be less than 1/20th of what it could and would be.